Hey there, students. Are you ready for another week to learn more about God and the Bible and what's happened with all the stories? Well, here we go. You remember the story of Noah and the ark? Pretty cool story, eh? Well, maybe not for the people that drowned, but hey, for Noah and his family, pretty way out, I tell you. Well, Noah had 3 sons who had 3 wives that were all on the ark with them. And when they got off, one of Noah's sons, his name was Shep. Well, Shep
and his children, and then, he had children, then they had children, then they had, how it goes. They had children, there's lots of children, lots of people.
Well, anyhow, Noah, Shem, lots of children. They ended up in a place called Mesopotamia. Say that, Mesopotamia. Pretty cool name.
Mesopotamia.
It's got a cool ring to it. Anyhow, getting off track here. So they're in this land called Mesopotamia, and a person there called Abraham lived there. He had a pretty cool gig going on, kind of like Mr. Ben has right here, kind of just hanging out in his shack here, having a good old time, in the land Mesopotamia, in a city called Ur. Abraham had it comfortable. He was well off, lots of sheep, goats, donkeys, servants, herdspeople. It's pretty good. But some of the people in the city of Ur were already starting to follow other gods and not the true God. So one day, God came to Abraham and said, Abraham, I need you to leave this city and go on a long walk to a faraway land called Canaan. So get your wife Sarah, get your nephew Lot, get all your animals, and go for a long walk far, far away to a land called Canaan. So they started out on this long walk. Are we there yet? No, not there yet. Let's walk further. Are we there yet? No, not there yet. And they kept walking and walking. And as they're walking, animals need food and they need drink. So they had to go from watering hole to watering hole and pasture to pasture and live in tents. And you can see this shack in the distance. See it way back there? Abraham kind of missed his shack, but nope, he's following God. So that's what he did. He kept following God. Even though it was a long journey, finally he got to the land of Canaan. So, as I was saying, they finally got to the land of Canaan after quite a long journey. But they did get there. And Abraham and his wife, Sarah, they had all their goats and donkeys and sheep and servants and herdspeople. And Lot had their own. But God did bless them because Abraham listened to God. Abraham became very wealthy once again. He had lots of gold, lots of silver, and his herds grew and grew and grew. So he was doing very well in this land of Canaan. Actually, almost too well, because his nephew Lot was having the same success as Abraham. So it got to a point where they had to figure out, what do you do? Because, the animals and their herds people, they started fighting over who got the water first, or who got the food first, or who gets the best of the food first. So they had to figure out what to do next. Well, here's where the story gets interesting, because God wanted to see if Abraham was good at listening or not, and if Abraham had a good heart. So Abraham made a decision, and he approached Lot and said, my nephew, we are family, and family shouldn't be fighting. So I'm going to give you first pick of the land. You can have first pick over which way you want to go, and you will go one way, and I will go the opposite way. So because Abraham wanted to do the right thing, and even though he was older than Lot, he was going to give Lot the option to go to a land of plenty. This land of plenty had Kit Kats and Crispy Crunch and Hershey's and Reese's and Snickers and Caramilk and where's the cookies and cream? Wait. And cookies and cream and Mr. Biggs. Whoa, that land was awesome. And then they looked in the other direction. What was in that land? Like blueberries and grapes and carrots and broccoli, blah, apples, And look at even celery and oranges. Wait, nope, just an orange. That reminds me, what rhymes with orange? Absolutely nothing. And cauliflower, strawberries, green peppers, and don't forget, the land of milk and honey. Oh wait, no, that's another story. Never mind. So if I had to make that difficult decision, do you know what Mr. Ben likes? If you guessed chocolate, you got it. I would have picked the land with all the chocolate. That land looked awesome. Like, come on, you can't go wrong going with all that chocolate. So Lot, Abraham's nephew, picked the way that was green and lush and pastures. And then Abraham, he picked the way of dry and scrubby land. It was tough for him, but God was so pleased with Abraham and Abraham's generous heart that God said to Abraham, Abraham, I will bless you and your descendants. You will have descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. That is totally awesome to have that many children and children and children and children, that your legacy continues for so long. Wait a minute. Abraham and Sarah didn't have any children. How is that going to happen? Maybe that's in the next weeks to come to find that out.